welcome to the stage, Jason Pittman.
I'm sure everybody online is like, who the hell is that guy? Welcome to Twitch Public Access, live from St. Jude Play Live Summit, here at the beautiful campus of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for every single one of y'all being here and everyone online that's watching and is going to participate today in this wonderful experience here at our amazing campus in Memphis, Tennessee. But real quick, we want to show you a little bit about some of our creators. Oh, actually, I forgot. There's one thing we got to share. If you're in chat, type Fever Fighter or use the emoji in chat. It is now a global emote. That little guy was drawn by a patient 13 years ago and now has lived on in so many different worlds, so many different places. So if you're familiar with our program, you know who he is. But over time, you'll get to know more about him if you're not. But to kick over to something that's even more important, let's look at some of our friends over the last year as they fundraise for St. Jude and all the silly things they do along the way.
Bro, do that again. Oh God.
Yeah, we'll be doing some FNAF VR. Uh-oh! There he goes. Rest in peace. Oh, I got shot!
And how many times is that gonna get clipped?
25,000 for the kids!
Close your mouth.
I couldn't breathe. I nearly just suffocated.
See. Wanna say hi, everybody? Hi. Hi. Good morning.
Is this what it's like having a father?
Yes, yes it is, son.
Community lots are not my forte.
Is it actually just top row? Is this the pride flag right there? Fake gay? I'm colorblind. Ableist gay. You.
Oh yeah, I actually just realized that SZA's pronunciation is SZA. I've been calling her Za, like this whole time. It's like, oh, I really love Za's R&B music.
What was I gonna do to get XP? I mean, I guess.
Oh! What was that?
What the fuck?
Yes, they're. Honey, please.
Okay, it's like really sweet right now. What the f? Doesn't taste like a hot dog.
Look at you, a puppy.
Oh, I can't play
Yes, I
right
can.
now.
You can play.
Pet, get back here! Oh, look at the baby! Ah!
Look at the little bellies.
I will be one with the dog. I will nuzzle up. Don't, sir, get the fuck out of the way. Boss. That's right. This is how you train your dog, all right?
Oh, what the hell? Who lost their dog here? Someone lost a full-ass dog.
I named it WAP.
What should I make you for meal prep next week? What should be? I'm not making donuts for your meal prep. No.
Want to see a magic trick?
Oh my god, where'd she go? She's gone!
Hello? Hello? What the fuck, dude?
What?
Hi. 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 Why are you so hot in this game? It makes no sense.
The name's Moxie.
I know it
What's
is.
your
Hi.
sugar?
Hi. I'm Lion.
You look like trouble.
Yeah.
Lucy, thank you for your sacrifice. Oh my gosh, so much crunchier. She's so much crunchier than Ricky.
Did I just do the same thing I did in that video 5 months ago?
Stand aside. No, I don't believe I'll be doing that.
Motherfucker, god damn!
I'm gonna need everybody to dial it back a little bit, okay? I'm gonna need everybody to relax just a little bit, okay, for me, please? Just a little bit. Just a little bit of a relaxation here, please.
That video is 5 minutes long, and it was worth it because we wanted to see so many of your amazing clips. Those are all taken from your time raising money for St. Jude. Welcome, everyone, to Twitch Public Access. We are live from St. Jude because it is very important that the world knows about this incredible organization and all the incredible streamers that are raising money to make a difference for the kids. My name is Mary. I have been at Twitch for many years. I absolutely adore working here. It is an incredible light in my life to come to St. Jude every year and do this with you all. Thank you for having me. Dan.
Let me just say it's great to be here. This is a very unique experience, and I appreciate being able to share this with you. It's amazing what St. Jude is able to do, St. Jude, and what all of you do, and all of your efforts for St. Jude. And so I want to thank you for having me, and it's been great being here. I'm really excited.
I'm so glad that you're able to be here, and I'm so glad all of you are here. I have a question for everybody who's here in the room with us today. If it's your first time at St. Jude Play Live, can you please make some noise?
Woohoo!
Dan, I noticed that you made some noise.
I did. It's my first time here. It's something I've wanted to do, but it never worked out. Now, of course, I didn't earn my way here. All of you did earn your way here by what you've done in terms of raising money for St. Jude, and it's something I need to do now that I've been here.
I agree. I think that Dan's going to have to join the ranks of everybody here in raising money for St. Jude. I want to tell a little bit about Twitch's story in hanging out with everybody here, and also just the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and all the work that goes into this. Some of you might not know this, but Twitch streamers have collectively raised over $68 million for St. Jude. It's incredible. And over 38,000 streamers have joined in support for St. Jude at Twitch. Thank you so much. My last little fun fact is I just think this is interesting because it's global. Donations have come in from over 100 different countries. You guys are raising money and you're making a global impact. I'm so excited to get into this show. I think it's important that you know that we do Twitch Public Access every month, and it is a way to give back and talk about the incredible things that the community is doing over Twitch, in case you missed it. And usually, we cover our top 5 clips of the month. We scour the internet looking for the best clips of them all to show them off and just highlight the creators that are making these incredible moments live. But because we're here at St. Jude, we're going to do things a little differently. Today, we are going to be showcasing 5 very special moments from this community throughout the show. And there's going to be some fun moments and surprises for everybody in store. Dan, would you like to do the honors of starting with our first clip?
I would love to. And we're going to have a little special surprise for these 5 clips. So it's people here. So all y'all be thinking, is it going to be you? Is it going to be me? What are we going to do? Okay. So now we're going to jump into the first one. Let's see that first clip. And who is it?
It's like it's got a superhero. If I think about it like that, maybe it's not so bad. What? It's so leafy.
All right. Where's Steph?
It's so leafy.
There she is.
Leafeon. Think of Leafeon. Leafeon is a good Pokemon. Oh, God.
Ew.
Oh, God.
Oh, who doesn't love a good leafy vegetable? Steph, come on up. We have something for you up here. There you are, Steph.
Third Play Live event, and to date, she's raised over $32,000 for St. Jude.
All right, so Steph, start by sitting down. Okay, well, we're going to chat for a few minutes. All right, Steph. So why don't you talk a little bit just about, your experience with St. Jude and what you've been doing fundraising.
Oh, my God. Oh, is this on? Yes, it is. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Well, thank you for having me. Oh, my gosh. St. Jude Play Live is a really special experience for me. I've been fundraising. This is about to be year 8 fundraising for St. Jude Play Live. And I think it's all really interconnected to why I stream in the first place, which is being able to find support systems and being able to connect with one another. And when I learned that not only can we do that, for the spaces that we want for entertainment, and for me it was finding friends who love Pokemon and anime, but when we can do that for people in need and use that impact for good, once I started fundraising for charity, I knew, okay, this is something I want to keep doing for the rest of my life, so. Yeah.
And do you have anything planned for this year's Play Live?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, well, let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. So last year, one of my big fundraising goals was, I'm StephOfAnime, I love anime, and we made an anime ending for hitting our St. Jude Play Live goal last year. So this year, we're going to work on having an anime intro to kind of complete the cycle for hitting our goal.
All right, so Steph, on anime, we have a little something for you. Okay. And let's go ahead and bring it out. What is it? What is it? What do we have for her? A big check. So what we have is $5,000 for St. Jude on behalf of you. So it'll be part of you. So this is going towards that fundraising goal. Hopefully that gets you part of the way there.
Oh
All
my
right?
gosh!
So,
wow!
Come on over.
Wow! Where do I go?
Picture with you in the, there we go.
Thank you so much.
All right, give it up for Steph on anime, and this has been great to meet you.
It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You have 2 more minutes.
I know, but we
Keep going.
We can keep going. We
Isn't
can get
that
ahead,
amazing?
Mary. That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get behind. We'll get behind some other time. All right.
That was really special. We really adore being able to give back. It's one of the reasons that we're here is to open up that great big Twitch wallet. You will notice that that check was in fact signed by you.
I did sign it. So, you know, you can go ahead and IRL stream when you're walking into the bank, okay? You're walking up. I want to see that. You got to sign the back and then hand it to them and see what they say, you know? They'll try to put it in the machine and they'll go, huh? You actually could try that. You could try put it into the cash machine and find out that it doesn't work, so.
We did want them comically sized, but my hope is that you can get that on the plane. That was really wonderful. We'll be hopefully being able to share more of these incredible experiences and show some more of your wonderful clips throughout the show. But before we do that, we'd like to hear about the St. Jude experience from an incredible patient and his family. So let's take a look.
St. Jude is the light. The light in the darkness, the light in the fog, the light at the end of the tunnel. Because you don't recognize light without dark.
Mica has always been so strong, and he would run literally for 3 hours and never stop. And that day we went and played 30 minutes, and he came back and said, "Can we go home?" And I noticed he looked a little pale. That was on a Tuesday. On Friday, he was diagnosed, and I can still remember how he looked that day.
Mica was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at the age of 5, and he is currently being treated at St. Jude.
So when you first hear the word cancer, you think this is a nightmare come to life, and so we were pretty scared.
When we got to the hospital, it was extremely overwhelming because at that point it was a confirmation. It was like, we're actually here. This is real.
But as we got into St. Jude and started talking with the doctors, being informed by them helped us really breathe. And it lessened the blow, and it really encouraged us that it wasn't as dark and grim as we originally thought.
I knew that no matter what happened, we were going to be taken care of, and it was going to be okay, and I decided to be strong so that he can be strong. But what was so funny is Mica actually became the strong one, and we were leaning on him because he just took everything like it was okay, and so he was my sunshine. At this point, he is thriving and doing well.
And for us, it's really taken a huge burden off knowing that we don't have to worry about being in debt from medical expenses. For St. Jude to be able to do groundbreaking research and tender care and everything else that they offer, I mean, it really is an incredible thing.
For those that support St. Jude, they saved my son too. St. Jude wouldn't be able to do all those amazing things and give the families the freedom of not having to worry about all of the costs that come with it if it weren't for donors.
St. Jude is a tremendous blessing, not only to my family, but to children around the world. And you've told me that St. Jude is the saint of lost causes. Because of St. Jude, children's cancer is no longer a lost cause.
That was extremely meaningful. You know, it's very important that we are able to have these experiences and also understand what happens behind the scenes at St. Jude and get to know the families. So we're really honored to welcome Mica's parents, Adam and Rebecca, to the stage to tell us more of their story.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you from everyone here for being here. I think it is, you know, I know this is one of those things for you, like coming up and being present is very emotional because it brings it all back, all that you've been through. And I think it's so important for those people here that are, you know, working hard to feel that visceral connection to your journey, because then part of their job is to translate that to their audience, right? And so it's wonderful you're here. So talk a little bit about that journey with St. Jude to help, because a lot of people are watching at home that are still like, oh, what is all this? So talk about that journey at St. Jude in particular when you first, because I'm sure you got the diagnosis and then you only found out about St. Jude after you got the diagnosis probably. Is that right?
I never know if he wants to talk or if he's just going to let me do it, but I talk more, so I guess that's okay. So we, Mica had been experiencing some random symptoms for a period of time, and it was nothing that we would have tied to cancer or thought, oh, this has to be cancer. One of those was he was just really pale, which if you look at him, it's like, okay, well, duh. I mean, he didn't get it from me. I mean, I'm sorry, I love you. But anyway, so we, I noticed it first, and I was really concerned because I'm like, this is really not normal for him. But it was in the November time period of 2022, and my husband, being the sweet husband that he is, was like, well, they're not going outside a lot at recess, and he's not in the sunshine as much, and so it's probably just, he's just not getting a lot of sun. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then it kind of resonated continually in the back of my head, but again, he had a great explanation, so I was like, that's great. And then he just started getting sick a lot, and what really ended up being the thing that brought us to the hospital was he started having these nosebleeds that would last for 20, 30 minutes, and then the last one lasted for 45 minutes and was still going strong, and I was like, no, this ain't right. And so I called our pediatrician, and she goes, get him to the hospital. And it actually stopped on our way, but I knew, I was like, something is not right, so I took him to an urgent care, and when she saw him, she was like, he is super pale, all the tests are coming back negative, get him to Le Bonheur. So we took him to Le Bonheur, and right before midnight on November 24th, I believe it was, they told us it was leukemia. And when you hear the word cancer, you're like, no, that's not me. That's not our family. You hear of other people getting it, but when you actually hear the word for yourself, for your family, or in this case, our son, it just hits you so hard. And there's this fear and this anxiety that just wells up in you. And honestly, the first emotion is, am I about to lose my son? I couldn't breathe. And then the doctor at Le Bonheur was so sweet. She's like, we're getting you set up with St. Jude. They're going to come get you. They're going to take care of you. It's going to be great. And we're like, all right. And so we get to St. Jude, and y'all, I've never seen anything like it. From the moment they opened up the ambulance doors till we got in the room, it was literally just a team of people flawlessly working. I mean, there was anywhere from 5 to 15 nurses or people around him, and they were just working so flawlessly together with smiles on their faces, and all of them at some point touched my arm or looked me in the eyes and said, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Hey, it's going to be okay. We're going to help you. And I had never, ever seen anything like that before. And so that was an early Wednesday morning, and that later that morning is when the doctors came in and said, okay, we've got the results from Le Bonheur, and we definitely do believe it's leukemia, but we need to specifically figure out what it is. And so by Thursday afternoon, we had the official diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And by that Friday, he had his port surgically put in and started chemo, and we started the journey. So yeah.
That is, I mean, it must be so shocking for parents, and we really appreciate you sharing this story. Adam, is there anything else that you'd like to add about your experience specifically with St. Jude and what it's been like for you as a parent?
Sure, yeah, I'll echo just a little bit of what she shared already. When you get here, so we're originally from the Memphis area. Like we, went to school here, college here, that kind of thing. So like we've been involved in community fundraisers and stuff for St. Jude, but We'd never been on campus, taken a tour, or anything like that. So we just kind of knew just a little bit. But when like she said, when you first hear the word cancer, you can't help but immediately think worst case scenario. But from the time we stepped foot on campus, from the people that met us that first night, or the valet for the follow-up visits and all that stuff, to the person that checks you in, to the nurses, to the receptionist, to the people in the cafeteria, the culture is one of empathy. It's one of genuine love and care. Gosh, I wish you could bottle it and put it in every single organization, to be honest. But it's so real, and you genuinely feel like it's going to be all right. This is the best place in the world for you and your child to be right now, and we're going to be with you every step of the way. Yeah. So we felt seen, we felt heard, our fears were validated, and then they begin to, with Mica's particular cancer, they said, let's not jump to worst case scenario. Let's talk about this in detail. And so they gave us the information. They gave us the information specifically with what he was dealing with, and how they treat it, and how they've taken it, as you saw in the video, particularly his kind, from 4% cure rate, survival rate, to like 94% since the 60s, I think, or if that was right. And man, it's incredible to be ministered to by St. Jude, and to know that they share their research with people, with other hospitals all over the world that are not research hospitals, but they can follow the same successful protocol that Mica's on, even if they're not here. So it's been great.
So before we move on, I loved your comment in the video about without darkness there is no light. And I think one thing that probably almost everyone here, when you hear your story, suddenly any of our problems seem so small. But talk about how it changed your attitude. Talk about the lightness, right, that came out of the darkness now in terms of where you're at, and how that affects how you think of life and how you think of your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll say, first of all, to do with this, but also kind of on a side note. So I also mentioned how, we were trying to be strong for Mica, but Mica was really the strong one. He is extremely brilliant, and I know I can, probably sound like a biased mother, but he's actually seriously brilliant. He really was just, he knew he was sick, and they were very real with him, which was actually a blessing because they put it on terms that he can understand. So it didn't make it extremely scary, but it also helped him realize, I can trust these people because they're being honest with me. And so, but through all of that, how they loved on him, how they treated him like family, and have just gotten personal with him and on level with him, he just really just soared through it. And so he kind of became, like I said, the one that we leaned on for support and encouragement because he was just so happy all the time. But to more specifically answer your question, we all go through situations. We all go through things that are hard, that are difficult. And while, yes, our situation is very scary, even if any of you out here, didn't have a child that, had cancer, I'm sure there's either someone in your family who's had cancer or has had some kind of medical diagnosis that's hard, or even if it's not a medical diagnosis, even if you've just lost someone close to you or are walking through a really hard time, when you're walking through that, it's really difficult. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that my trials are more difficult than yours or that are worse than yours according, to society or whatever. We all go through difficult things and we all struggle, and our emotions are all real and all validated and should be validated. But what really brought us through is, one, like Adam talked about, the culture. The culture of St. Jude is they treat you like family and they love you like family, and just like family is or should be, they walked beside us and said, we are going to walk through this with you, and when you feel like you're going to fall apart, we're going to be here to catch you and help you move on. So that was one thing. We just being married and being a support for each other, that was huge, because a lot of times it can be a strain on a marriage. But we really just grew closer together, and as a family group, we grew closer, and that also helped us walk through it. And then also, most importantly for us specifically, we're believers, and really just relying on the Lord and praying through it and saying, we literally cannot do this. This is scary, and this is hard, and I feel like I can't do this. We could feel the presence of the Holy Spirit just saying, I've got this. You just keep walking and you keep trusting me. And so our faith and our church family and our family just said, we're going to walk through this with you. And so that was just a huge, just all of that combined was just a huge support system for us. And so even when we were in this darkness, there was this light always surrounding us, whether it was right in front of us or just in our spirit or whatever it was just, we constantly knew, even when things were terrible, that things were going to be okay, because we had that support. And so that for me was why I said, it was like a light in the middle of the darkness, because St. Jude was part of being that light. And then even like the donors, and I'm sorry, I got to put this in there, because this is a really big thing for me. So people have events for donors, and they talk about donors being really important. But one thing that I realized is it's not just the doctors and the nurses saving my kid and these kids at St. Jude. It's y'all too, because without donors, without the money that y'all raise, St. Jude would not be able to do not only what they do research-wise, paying the doctors, paying the nurses, paying the janitors, paying the valet, and all of that to make this amazing culture, but also we as families, we would not be able to do it because of how much all of this costs. And so y'all are making it a burden you're making it one less burden for us to have to worry about financially. And so in a way, you all save our kids too. And that is so huge. And so I hope that is encouraging for you to keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing matters. And it doesn't just matter because you believe in it, it also matters because I am telling you as a parent, you have helped save my child. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. So I just wanted to put that out there as an encouragement for y'all, and to hopefully continue to encourage you to push forward and keep doing what you're doing and enjoy it as well, because we got to enjoy it and do video games and all that fun stuff as well. So anyway.
So thank you for being
you.
here, Adam and Rebecca.
Rebecca, Adam, thank you so much for sharing your story. Give it up for Rebecca and Adam.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was extremely powerful. I do think it is important to see where the donation dollars go, because they go to real people who love their children, and it is just so important. I could not have said that better myself. I think every person in this room saves lives, and that's extremely special. Our next guest is also, and this is really awesome to have, a part of the St. Jude team and a favorite here at Play Live. So I'm very excited to introduce back on Dr. Stabley. Dr. Stabley, thanks for coming.
Dr. Stabley, well, welcome. I guess you're already here, so I mean, you need to welcome me because I'm normally not here. But
Doctor.
Yeah, there we go, Doc. All right, let's kick this off. So, talked about what brought you to St. Jude initially.
So, I was doing my grad school thing, doing a lot of, looking at very fine-grained details in biophysics on individual cells, and it was,
who doesn't know about that?
It's great, right? So it's really cool. But
they're all excited.
Yeah,
okay.
it's really interesting 5 years of my life. But moving on from that is like, how am I going to apply this? I mean, I want to use this to transform something, to do something that's going to make a difference in the world, or why did I go into this in the first place? And I was looking around for different fellowships. I was really interested in neuroscience and integrating these things, and St. Jude had a fellowship program. I ended up here roundabout through that, learned a lot about neuroscience, and then took what I had done in grad school, sort of synthesized it with that, decided to stay on here, you know, permanently as long as, you know, I'm alive or they find someone better at least. Then the rest is history, I guess.
So cool. Now, we've asked around, and the St. Jude staff describes you as extremely online. So my next question is a simple one. What meme describes you the best?
Meme-wise, I really like the dog in the flaming room. Like, this is fine, yeah. I think that it really, at face value, but it really embodies the spirit of what we do in science. Like, you know, you can be in the middle of a difficult research project. You have to keep going. Like, the room might be on fire, but this is fine. Science is, it's mostly failure. It's mostly falling down, and occasionally you get to get back up. And when you do, hopefully you've brought something to the world that can change it. So that's it. So that's my meme.
That's it. I love the meme of falling down and needing getting up, because I often say that's the biggest thing you need to teach your kids is not how to avoid falling down. You got to teach them how to get up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now, and I'm going to jump ahead the question because I want to ask this question. Okay, so let's talk about the topic. It was on everyone's mind, microscopy. I think everyone here just wants to know a little more about microscopy and explain how that works.
So what is it? Why do we do it? I mean, going back to the beginning, really, cancer is a big disease, but I always say it starts really small. It starts maybe in the nucleus of an individual cell in a niche in the middle of some tissue in the body. And to figure out how that process works, we need to see it. So microscopy is just it's a tool, it's an imaging tool that lets us look inside of these cells, see how they're getting misregulated, so that we can figure out what's wrong, we can get targets for treatment, we can bring that to the whole world, and that is what makes, you know, this scientific pursuit, these imaging tools, that's what makes us go from the 60s of having an ALL being a death sentence to you seeing people walking around surviving it. All around here. So it's really just one of the tools we use and develop in science to get at the root of how these things work. I also always say, like, we have the task in science to take these incredibly complex biological systems, all of us, and disentangle how they work so that we can fix them. And it's like if you took a microprocessor or a GPU and just dumped it on someone's desk who is really smart and they'd never seen it before, they're measuring voltages at pins and all this stuff. Like, can they, you know, how do you figure out what the whole thing does by just poking different levers? And that's the task that we have. So, and microscopy is letting us see inside of these systems and figure them out at the root.
That's really cool, and I think there's a lot of people online that are learning a lot, but there might be aspiring researchers out there as well. What advice would you give someone?
Aspiring researchers, it's not too late for hedge fund management. No, I'm kidding.
Program.
So, yeah.
Become a computer programmer.
No, totally. So my real advice would be fearless. In science, you're going to come up against adversity in a way that, you know, you may not have experienced before in your life, depending on who you are. You have to keep going. I'd say find your passion, because if you're not passionate about what you're doing in science, that's the reason to do the job. You're not going to be successful if you're not passionate. And also, like, choose your graduate advisor. Like, it is an apprenticeship. You are tied to this person for 5 years and beyond. And like, I've been very fortunate to have like the best mentors I could ask for that have gotten me to where I am today. So you know, choose wisely and go from there. But
so, and I'm going to go with the question that's not on the script.
Okay.
That so I think so often we think that we understand so much about the world. Right? We have this mistaken belief. So I'm going to ask you to throw out a number. How much of the human body do we understand? If you had to pick a percentage, because I think for most people, they think all these doctors understand the human body. But
I mean, yeah, you can abstract this away to like any number, maybe like a fraction of a percent, right? So I always like to say, you know, I like even in like, I was talking to an engineer that works on my team, an optical engineer, and we were just having this great discussion of like, Well, you've got DNA, and then that becomes mRNA, it becomes RNA, and then that gets translated into proteins. And then, you know, you learn that in biology in high school, and you're like, oh, that's a simple, you know, it's like a blueprint. And then you got like a working blueprint, and then you make a protein. No, there's like, here's 10 regulatory layers between this, and then 20 more between this and this. Like this one minor regulatory mechanism was someone's entire career, and then you synthesize that all together, all these people living, dying, doing research their whole lives, and you put it all together, and then you can cure someone and their kid gets to live. So it's a mosaic, it's a pattern of all these people coming together, giving their careers to do this. So yeah, it's low, but what we have is valuable, incredibly valuable, and makes a huge difference.
It certainly does. Now, we all know that in addition to you being extremely online, you're also a gamer. Can you tell us your favorite video game?
Oh. So that's you know, you're saving the hard
That's the
question.
real hard question.
Or one that you love. I hate favorite questions.
Thank
Really,
you, yeah.
what's a game that you love? Doesn't have to be your favorite.
I would go back to, I said this last time, I think, Final Fantasy Tactics. The gameplay, it's a miracle that I ended up where I am with the amount of hours I put into that game. So.
All right. And so then also, pick, and you're going to have to remember the decade here, pick a 90s movie that you love.
Yeah, so this is always a tough one too. It might be a cop-out because it's 1999, but I have to say The Matrix.
Hey, that's a good one.
Really, it sort of blew my mind. It still kind of does, and I wish that I could just download knowledge into my brain still, but I can't.
Well, you're working on that for us, right?
Yeah, maybe someday.
Dr. Stabley, we love having you every year. Do you have any last words for the people here and the people online?
Absolutely. You know, what you do, the money you raise directly impacts everybody here, and we are all oriented to this mission of saving lives. We can't do it without you. The research that I do is higher risk. It's harder to get government funding for this type of stuff. It lets us do things fearlessly, like I said. It lets us pursue that fearless pursuit of knowledge that we can apply to changing the world and fulfilling Danny Thomas's original mission that no child should die in the dawn of life.
All right. So with that, I think you are going to send us off in terms of the next video clip. So thanks for being here, but send us off on this next clip.
All right, roll footage.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Stabley.
Thank you so much. Go, Mama, go.
All right, SpringSims, we want to see those moves. Come on up.
This is SpringSims' third Play Live event, and to date, he's raised over $33,000 for St. Jude.
Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you. Good to have you on. Hi.
Great to meet you, SpringSims. Have a seat. All right, well, why don't you tell us about the clip and what you were doing there?
Well, I'm sure that clip was all about me doing Sims trivia with my parents. And so we were raising a lot of money for St. Jude, as we always do every year. And something that my parents don't know much about is the Sims. And I thought, why not teach and also kind of like see who will win against each other. My mom won. My dad didn't like it. But honestly, it was very fun. And something that St. Jude sends in like a box is like a button. And it's always so random. It's my favorite button. And we like to have a little dance party in our house. We like to dance. We like to sing. We like to just do basically anything. But yeah, that's kind of what that button was. Yeah.
It's a really wonderful moment, and I know you've done a lot of work with St. Jude over the years. Yeah. Can you tell me some of your other highlights or just special moments to you and your history fundraising?
Yeah, so I've been fundraising for a very, very long time. I always feel like I was put on this earth for like two things: entertain people and help others. And I've always been a kind of person who's like if someone needs help, I will find a way, whether it's online, whether it's in person, or just anything. But yeah, I've been fundraising for St. Jude since I think 2019 before Play Live. And 2020 was kind of like the year that I wanted to do Play Live. I just graduated university in the pandemic, so that was very interesting. I threw my cap, let's fundraise for St. Jude. And I think in my first year, I think I raised over 4,000. I can't remember the actual number. But like since then, like I've always wanted to fundraise because I've seen commercials, I've seen a lot of things online about St. Jude, and I want to be able to help the kids because kids are the future. Kids are able to do things that I could not do. I mean, technology, math, science. I mean, there's so many things kids can do nowadays that I did not have access when I was a kid. And so seeing them achieve their dreams at a further rate than I did is so inspiring. And if I can help them achieve their dream by fundraising online, then so be it.
All right. Well, we have a little something for you. And of course, this may not be a surprise. Okay? Here we go, SpringSims. Come on over. And so $5,000 to start on this year's Play Live for St. Jude on behalf of you. So thanks for all that you're doing. We see your number up there. Very impressive. Okay. And thanks. We'll be seeing you around today.
Congratulations, SpringSims. You are so long. That crowd. I love this so much. I think we are really on a roll here. And I think one of the things we all agree with is that there are so many creators deserving of these types of uplifting and putting a light on all of the work that you are all doing. So we really appreciate that, and we appreciate everything that you are doing out here. We're going to take a look at another wonderful video about St. Jude. Let's take a look.
It's a glittering premiere at the Chicago Theater for Warner Brothers' I'll See You in My Dreams. A real dream has come true, for this benefit premiere launches a drive for a new hospital sponsored by the film star Danny Thomas, here arriving with his family. Years ago, Danny vowed he'd build a hospital if he ever became famous. $32,000 are subscribed, the first of $1 million Danny Thomas tells friends he'll raise for the St. Jude's Hospital of his dreams.
They said it couldn't be done. They said that it was a task which would break my heart. They said it was impossible. At this very moment, as I speak to you, in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, there is being constructed a hospital in the form of a star. There it is, in concrete, glass, and steel, to offer help to all the children of the world, regardless of race, creed, or economic status. You and I have vowed that we will do everything in our power, spiritually, physically, mentally, and financially, to bring about the defeat of these catastrophic diseases. We're going to begin with leukemia, and by God's grace, after defeating it, go on to other diseases. That little tiny building has led the world in advancements in pediatric science and clinical care, and now it's going to rise up. You will bring it to the fore through an organization called ALSAC.
I were to die tomorrow, I now know why I was born.
While we're sitting here making this video, there's a family that's walking through the front doors on a Friday afternoon, and they're at St. Jude. When we came to St. Jude, I asked the doctor, "Can you treat my child?" And he said, "No. We're going to cure him."
It's
Oh God. That's a damn good video.
And I'll say, so I'm old enough that I remember Danny Thomas from when I was growing up, because he was still an entertainer then, and those were movies I'd watch. And, you know, it's really a testament, and really I didn't fully understand how much he kicked this off till I came here. And, you know, I'm sure he had no idea what he was doing. And, you know, all of you will know who he is because of this, because if it wasn't for this, probably none of y'all, who the heck is Danny Thomas? And I think 200 years from now, people will remember. And I think in some ways, all of y'all are doing that in your own small part, because we'll be somewhere 100 years from now or 50 years from now that we wouldn't be if not for all that's going on here.
Yeah, it's
so
incredible.
I think it's great to give it up for Danny Thomas and what he all started.
I agree. Thank you. Our next guests joining the stage are coming from Twitch to talk a little bit about the work behind the scenes that Twitch is doing to ensure you all can raise money for an incredible cause. Please give it up for Jay Brents and Ethan Hamron.
Talk about some colors, you two. Okay, woo!
We coordinated effectively.
Dude,
We
very
brought the color
impressive.
today.
Very impressive.
Had to look my best today.
I feel so monochrome suddenly. Okay.
No, you're rocking the purple, the Twitch purple. I respect it.
All right. So kick us off. Just talk in general about how Twitch thinks about charity.
Yeah. So first of all, my name's Ethan Hammerman, Senior Marketing Manager at Twitch, and my goal with the charity program at Twitch is to empower as many streamers to stream and viewers to donate to charitable causes as possible. We want to make it as low a barrier to entry as we can, and we do that with programs throughout the year, culminating in our Together for Good program around Giving Tuesday, down near Thanksgiving. Our annual charity drive, we've done it for 2 years now, and I'm really proud to say that year one was fantastic. Of course, St. Jude was a key supporter there. Year two, we increased the number of streamers streaming by 40%, and we doubled our donation amount. So we are off to an amazing start, and we're only going to get bigger throughout time. And then the other thing that we do is throughout the year, raid trains led by our ambassadors, guild members, around key moments, because we want everyone to know that Twitch is there to support our community wherever they may be, whatever cause they might be raising money for.
That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit more about communities and just the ability that communities have to help fundraise, Jay.
Absolutely. So it's funny that like all of us as broadcasters or viewers, we all drive from a core purpose or a message. And I'm a Yinzer. I grew up in the Pittsburgh region, so I grew up with Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. And a message that Fred would always tell us, and this came from his mother, look for the helpers. And when I look at the collective that's not only in this audience, the broadcasters that I've had the opportunity of the past 20 years of my career to connect with, and the third parties that we work with, I think of like Tiltify and all the incredible work that they do to support our organization when it comes to crowd control and building mechanics to drive us forward. All of these helpers come together for good. And that is why we really push forward over the past years, pushing together for good, because just as we were talking about earlier, there is light that can come from darkness, and there is always a moment in our lives that we are confronted with it. So you are the ones, you are the light bringers, you're the ones that bring it forward, and I'm just grateful to have opportunities to work with communities like you. We see additional amplification happening with our Unity Guilds program that we launched.
Hear it for Unity Guilds.
To all of our incredible Unity Guild's members, our leaders, we support 4 marginalized groups right now, but obviously we're looking to the future, so more to come in the future. We're also hugely supported by our ambassadors who go out there into the space and the world. Some of them are here today, who educate and just fight for a better ecosystem. So all of us together, we are the helpers. And I hope that you as the community members and those watching at home also lean into the helping mechanisms you can.
Great. So Ethan, just talk a little about Twitch as president at St. Jude this year, why what you came down and what we're looking for here.
Yeah, I'll say like you, this is my first time at St. Jude, my first time in Memphis, love it. But really I just want to reinforce that what St. Jude does and what all of you do is best in class in the world in terms of what we want, what we mean by harnessing the power of community, raising money for good causes. And we really wanted to feel the spirit and show our support that we see the incredible work that's being done here and we get it and we love it. As I said, first time in the city, what I have experienced, the passion and love here and just the inspiration, like it really has touched my heart, and I can't wait to bring this back to Twitch HQ because what you're doing is magical and we need to continue to make sure people know about it and that we're supporting you.
Something that actually came up in conversation while we were meeting with all of you earlier is, what if we had a super team, Twitch staff, community members, all of us came together towards causes like St. Jude. And so we're ideating on that concept right now and would love for you to join us in that charge forward to lift up all the people that need the help.
I think that's so special, and Ethan, I know that the team was also behind the beloved emote that went live today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when we first came up with that idea for Fever Fighter emote, it was an inspirational moment. Spam it in chat. And I mean, that story really to me is indicative of kind of the power and spirit that St. Jude really brings to bear. Keeping that positivity, keeping that fight up while doing this incredible work behind the scenes to ensure that these kids have a fighting chance. And when we were thinking about what can we do that makes it a little bit more special on the Twitch product, Fever Fighter made so much sense to us.
It really does. Now, Jay, I'd just love if there's any other words of wisdom or advice you have for anyone out there, anything you'd like to say.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of us in the space can get absorbed by metrics. We're always taught by organizations, chase the metrics, chase the views, chase the highest dollar amounts. Remember, having one person across from you is a meaningful conversation. That's some of the best conversations that I have, and I've had many of those while I've been here at St. Jude. That is the same thing that you need to apply to your broadcasts, to the donations. One meaningful connection goes a long way. A lovely sponsor I worked with previously was Sanrio. Little gift, big smile. Always exchange that with everything that you do and carry that forward with every day of your life.
That's beautiful. Right. And I also love the sentiment that you're not just raising dollars, you're raising awareness. You are, just by going live. So that's incredible. Now, it is time for another clip.
Uh-oh.
And I think, Ethan, you're going to do the honors.
Yeah, I actually think this might be a celebrity making an appearance on the leaderboard. Someone really special to us. So roll the clip.
All right, herokerrey, come on up and teach us how to paint.
This is herokerrey's second Play Live event, and to date, she's raised over $12,000 for St. Jude.
Thanks for being here. All right. So herokerrey, now talk to me a little bit about that painting technique and where you came up with it and how you've perfected it.
Honestly, I don't remember how I came up with it. Sometimes I feel like fundraising is just on the fly, and I think it was a chatter that suggested to do painting with my nose, and I just ran with it.
I've heard painting by numbers, but not painting by your nose.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob Ross is like so integrated into our lore, so you are brilliant with using that. Tell us some more of your tactics for fundraising.
I think a lot of it is just capturing things in the moment and listening to your audience and really just honing in on that. And then also listening to them, asking questions and just getting them more involved. And then creating moments like Twith, for example, and really just hyping people up and celebrating it and celebrating the communities together, yeah.
So do you have things planned for this year Play Live for the next month?
I'm kind of still planning, but I did plan something yesterday, so that was my prep for coming today. For this summit, we did a front page event yesterday, and my team center stage with our team lead is Little Siha, our Just Dance team.
Oh, we gotta give it up for Little Siha.
We did a stream yesterday and danced and fundraised $3,100. Yeah.
That's incredibly special. I love that you are so integrated into this world and also Twitch lore. For anyone who's watching who's unfamiliar, you really were quite infamous with your Twith, and that came from a dono from Twitch, I think. And so the idea here, I'm just gonna set you up, but you tell me what happened here. Twitch donated to your charity, and your rule was if they donated, you would write the name of the donor on you, on your...
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
So it was, I think, $5, and I would write someone's name on my body, and Twitch came in, which, by the way, tag Twitch. That was my call to action. I highly encourage you to tag Twitch for this year. And they came in and donated $50. So I wrote Twitch on me 10 times, ran out of room. And then just out of nerves, just having Twitch in chat, I used my phone and couldn't really see, and I wrote Twith. Just wrote Twith.
It's the best $50 I've ever spent.
All right. Well, we have more than $50 for you right now. So let's bring out... All right. So here we have $5,000 to get going on your Play Live. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you being here.
We appreciate you. I love a giant check. And so now we're going to hear about another family's journey with St. Jude.
My daughter is Mila. She is a little ray of sunshine. She's fantastic. One of the happiest babies you'll probably ever meet. She just has one of those smiles that will just, her whole face smiles. Mila ended up being a C-section baby at 37 weeks and 1 day. She was a complete surprise from day one. She has Down syndrome, which was something that we did not expect and was completely a surprise to us. It's a very emotional day regardless, because you're prepared for a child, right? But this child is different. They have special needs. This is not the end of the world. This is going to be an even greater journey than we had initially planned. So right after she was born, she was sent to the NICU and diagnosed with transient myeloid proliferative disorder. And when they told us that she had this blood disorder, they said that it did have the potential to turn into leukemia. Children with Down syndrome typically have a higher risk for developing acute myeloid leukemia or just leukemia in general. And she was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia back in February of 2023. Having a child with cancer is heartbreaking. We were scared to death. And we knew that we were coming to the best place that we could possibly come to. And we were still scared to death. She was referred to St. Jude at 11 months. It was a whirlwind. It was absolutely crazy, but they have to be. They have to be fast. I mean, these are kids' lives that they're dealing with. So they know, like, once they get that diagnosis, like, everything's got to roll, and it's got to roll smoothly. And this place has, St. Jude has no problem with doing that. So with every round of chemo that she has, we do go inpatient. This girl loves those nurses. She loves those nurses, and they love her. It didn't matter if she was having a bad day or if she didn't feel good or if she didn't want to eat or if all she wanted to do was drink juice and eat cheese puffs. I mean, she smiled through it all. Every time somebody would come in, she was waving or blowing kisses. This is chemo. I mean, it's hard. And it's hard to watch. It's hard to just sit back and not be able to do anything and just watch. And here she is, just a baby, and she's handling it like a champ. St. Jude's given us a lot of hope. Research fuels everything, because without research, there aren't better treatment plans. If we can find a cure for cancer, these kids' lives will be changed forever. And not only these children's lives, everybody. I mean, you find a cure for cancer and you change the whole world. Anybody and everybody that contributes anything to this place, no matter if it's a big business or just the grandmother that donates, once a month, they are changing people's lives. And that's a big deal. Not only do we get to take our sweet girl home cancer-free, but we got to meet some amazing people and make amazing friendships. I'm so happy that she's done, but God, we're gonna miss so many people. Like, these people have become family to us. Like, our St. Jude family it's very near and dear to our heart. St. Jude has given us a brand new perspective on life in general. Now it's a very bright future. That girl, there's something special about her. Like, the sky's the limit for her. If she can dream it, she can do it.
A great smile. You can just see that. Yeah, we'll all be seeing that smile for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful. We have seen so many wonderful stories, and we have had so many wonderful moments with you all. And we've also seen some really good clips. And now I think it's time for another clip. Would you like to do the honors?
All right, this is number 2. Okay, let's see the number 2 clip. Who is it? Who is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support for this year for Meltdown and raising all that money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Here we go!
I feel like I hit you that hard. You're okay, right? Even look at you.
All right, here we go! Goober, come on up!
This is Goober 515's 6th Play Live event, and to date, he's raised over $495,000 for St. Jude.
Goober, Goober. All right. Well, Goober and I met for the first time last night.
Oh, yeah, and we're already talking about getting you on.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. Well, tell us about the clip. What was going on there? You guys, was that just your Sunday normal attire?
It's a Saturday, and we do that every year.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, that is what's called the meat fist. Right, so you picked a weird one.
I didn't pick it.
Okay. Great. So every year that we hit our overall goal for our charity event, Metal Meal Meltdown, we celebrate in what seems to be weirder and weirder ways. And years ago, it started, I think, when me and Domestic Dan.
Domestic Dan.
Domestic Dan. He would be here, but he's taking care of his newborn baby. All right, so Dan, we see you, buddy. We see you.
Domestic dad now.
Yes, very much so. Yes. We will once we hit our mark, we cook up some steaks and a couple of brats and bring out the tape and wrap a fist in some meat.
There you go, some good meat.
And this year it was the Ram Show joining because Domestic Dan was actually his wife was having the child when his time would have been.
Wow.
So he was like a little busy, might need to find somebody to fill. So Ram came in and he was doing that. Also, I was Gollum in that, which is a whole different story. So we can talk about that later.
There's no need to explain that. It's obvious when you do something of this caliber that you are not doing it alone. Can you tell us a bit about collaboration and why that's important when you're fundraising?
Absolutely. So Metal Me Meltdown is a week-long charity event. It is starts on a Saturday, ends on a Saturday. It is non-stop. We have roughly about 40 streamers join us, and they're all on their own streams. And even that, we say, is not enough. We try to have people stream with others, have guests on there, and that's the reason why Ram and my girlfriend Nikki was there at the time as well. Every day that I had my streams for that event, St. Jude was kind enough to actually fly in some of the streamers that you guys may know. And just having the presence of others there who believe in the same cause and want to fight for something that we all love will bring your stream and your fundraising opportunities from, you know, just your average fundraising moment to something that you had to be there for. And I can tell you right now, without a doubt, if you are streaming with somebody for your event, it doesn't matter who, if you have another person there with you, it is a multiplier. It is greater than the parts, right? It is something that is so powerful, and we cannot recommend it enough. So that's one of the reasons why we got to that weird place in the first place.
That's great. All right, well, again, it's not a surprise, Goober, but we got a little something to kick you off with your Play Live. Let's see that big-ass check. Here's the big-ass check to St. Jude on behalf of you. All right. Thanks, Goober.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So good. Now, for those of you who may not know about St. Jude, there's a lot of people online watching us right now live. There's so much to unpack about Goober's awesome Metal Meal Meltdown event. And so I think we should take a very metal look.
I'm looking forward to this video myself to try and understand it, and I think I will fail, okay?
It's happening now.
Metal is a vibe. Metal is a feeling. Metal is when you are just so excited and passionate and ready to do something that you can't contain your energy, and you just gotta yell. Metal Me Meltdown is a yearly streaming-based fundraising event where we cook metal meals.
Use your imagination.
We rock out with metal music, and we raise money for a metal cause.
Another $2,000!
We do it in a marathon format, and then it'll go for 7 days. So we have a lot of people involved. It's all grassroots, and slowly the web of connections has gotten wider and bigger, and we've raised more and more in weirder and wilder different ways.
It begins.
It started years ago based on a community event. The charity aspect was kind of added to it, and then I was invited to the St. Jude Play Live Summit. And that was a big turning point for me. I knew all of the statistics, I knew all of the facts, but I actually got to see this amazing place firsthand and experience it. And then I brought that back to our community, and I expressed to them, guys, we picked a good one. This was correct. Not only is the organization taking care of patients and changing their lives, they're also doing the research that can save millions of others. Obviously, St. Jude is metal. They have the track record to show it. They know what they're doing, and we don't have to change a thing. We're gonna raise money for a great cause in our own way, getting bigger and going farther than we have the previous years.
I still have no idea how I have any voice left. I am exhausted, but fulfilled. This year, our goal was to make it happen, and make it happen the best way we know how. We have
made it through yet another year to raise even more money for St. Jude. We've raised $450,000. It's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's still small in comparison to what St. Jude needs to function. But I'm part of that. We're all part of that. I just know that we have made an incredible difference being a part of that and keeping St. Jude running and saving the lives of these kids. It feels really good. Jason, I'd like to budget next year for throat lozenges. Cool, thank you.
All right. And just for the record, I still don't understand. Okay, that did not help understanding.
That's okay. That was beautiful. We've seen a lot of talent up on this stage, and we've seen a lot of people who are they're just so in love with this journey and what they're doing here. The next person who's gonna be joining us, this is her 6th Play Live. And so it's safe to say that charity is in her blood. So we'd like her to come up and share her experience and her veteran wisdom. Can you please all give it up for Imperial?
All right, there we go. And you didn't hit the edge. There is an edge back here. We're worried that the last person
I don't need another knee replacement.
No. You don't need 3 knees. 2.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. All right, so Imperial, why don't you talk a little bit about when you started streaming on St. Jude? So remember back then and what?
So I believe, I was counting, I think it's 2016 was my first St. Jude stream. I have no idea how much we raised because it was pre-Tiltify. But I think it was about, I want to say it was about $5,000 or $6,000, and it was life-changing. You see the infomercials, you hear about it, you think, oh, it's a children's cancer hospital. I am a parent of a complexly, medically complicated kid, so in my head it was a very similar place, and I quickly found out it was not, and all of the amazing things they do here. So it was kind of a no-brainer to do this every year.
That's wonderful. Now, can you tell us, with all of the streams that you've been doing for St. Jude, maybe some of your favorite memories?
I think one of my favorite memories was building a big Lego Cinderella castle, which was an incentive. And as I went to show it off, it shifted and fell to the ground. That was fun.
Our cooking stream is
I did rebuild it. It's in my living room. But yeah, that and the immense amount of confetti that we have used over the years. Yeah. I still find it everywhere.
I will say I wake up sometimes with shivers with confetti because my wife always liked using confetti when our kids had a birthday party. And I was like, yeah, but I'm the one who has to clean it up. It's like, oh, but it's so much fun.
Oh, we don't clean it up. Are you supposed to do that?
All right. So talk about your favorite charity stream. No, I already did that one. So talk about advice for new charity streamers.
Be yourself. It's my advice with everything. Lead with kindness, and you can't go wrong. You don't have to put yourself in situations where you're blending an entire box of beans and drinking them to motivate people to give money to this cause. I know it's gross. I would never. This is a cause that really speaks for itself. We almost have an easy route to show people how amazing this place is, and to get to come here and see what people do and the work that they do and the families, and get to listen to them and have them spend their time to educate us on the journeys they've been through. These are all tools that we can utilize to motivate our audiences and to motivate anyone you speak to in the rest of your life to understand what St. Jude's mission is and to help them continue it.
It's excellent advice. Now, we are slowly burning through our top 5 clips, and I think we are at our #1 clip. Imperial, we'd love for you to do the honors and set this clip up. Would you please tell everyone that you'd like to see the #1 clip?
Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is?
I'm really hopeful it's not me. But let's see.
She knew it was coming.
Okay, so what you can't, blissfully cannot hear is me singing that Sim is on fire. To the tune of Alicia Keys,
That
right?
looked like it hurt. I mean,
it had to.
yeah.
The firefighters started dancing later. It was a party.
Right. Did you viscerally feel like it, like it hurt a little bit just seeing it?
It was so tragic.
I'd like to hear Imperial sing "This Sim is on fire." Can we play that? Can we play the clip again? I want to hear it.
We need a clip. Go ahead.
That Sim is on fire! That Sim is on fire!
But wait, I thought we were going to get her to sing it now. Okay? I want to hear it now so we get another clip. Come on. The old Imperial would have done it. Remember?
No.
No.
Not for a dono, she won't. So let's go and get another dono on here for her.
But we got a bigger number for Imperial. To kick off this year's Play Live, Imperial, thank you for all that you do.
I put that total over 100K. Did you see that? Just saying. We are pretty much out of clips now, and we are going to start to wrap. But I think we do want to just end with some important words here to our community. It is so magical that we get to do this with everyone. It is very important what we're doing. We laugh, we cry, we have fun here. But this work is so important, and I hope you all understand that being a part of this journey is our responsibility to support you and allow you to do what you do best.
And, one thing that I think we can all think of, because, of course, we have people here, but as we highlighted, many of you, this is your first time here. Yes. And next year, there will be many people that this year will be the first year that they do something with Play Live. So, and, of course, there are tons of people at home watching this. And so I think one thing we can all try and do is get more people involved, because it's all about how many people are involved. And, if we can think of how many people are doing it now, well, if we can all get one more person next year, and then next year, and then next year, it keeps growing. And so I think this year, let's make it bigger than anyone ever before by getting more people involved.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Collaborate, talk to people, and make something incredible with your fundraising streams. Now, Dan, I think there's one more thing that you wanted to announce to everybody here
There
today.
is one more thing, and it's something for all of y'all to think. As you've noticed, we've donated $30,000 today, and again, in behalf of the streamers that are here. But during Play Live, we have another $100K that over the next few weeks will be dropping in on your streams, and to help support you in your charity effort, that you will get credit for it. I know I plan to be streaming some, and in fact, if you see me knocking, you might want to answer. Okay, so note. But and for those at home, in terms of watching, go to the /charity collection, right, that we'll have on the home page, and of course we'll get everyone to use St. Jude Play Live as a tag, so that way, because I really think a huge part of it is getting more people aware of what you're doing, and get more people watching your charity streams this year, and that way we can all raise more money. So I'm looking forward to it, and everyone at home, please, for the next month, check out the charity collection. We'll have it on the homepage, and then check out everyone with the St. Jude Play Live tag.
That's right. The easiest way to join us on this journey is to use the tag charity when you are raising money for charity. That is how I can find you. That is how we will find you, that we will be doing our searches for that. And you just never know when Twitch might pop in your stream and give you some money, because we are promising over $100,000 to St. Jude this year. Dan,
this is for the folks at home. I think there are probably a lot of streamers that think, oh, I really want to do something, but you can always do it tomorrow. right? And tomorrow. So, you know, one thing that's the magic, of course, for you is always getting people to do it today. And so for all those people at home, this year, make it the year that you raise some money for St. Jude. So.
Yeah, there's no time to start like now. I want to give a big thank you to the guests that came on the show and told us their stories, Adam and Rebecca, Jay and Ethan from Twitch, Dr. Stabley, the gamer himself, and of course, all of the streamers that came up here, StephOfAnime, SpringSims, herokerrey, Goobers, and Imperial, and every one of you in the audience. Dan, do you have any other final thoughts that you would like to share?
Just thank you for all that you do. It's great being here. Looking forward to being here next year. And looking forward to seeing what all of you do on your streams, because I'll be wandering around and checking you out.
So awesome. Thank you all for watching Twitch Public Access at St. Jude Play Live. We're going to raid Pepper Potts. So please, everybody, if you're in chat, stick around and please hang out for the raid. We really appreciate everybody here. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.